Pavs Pod. Thank you for coming back after listening to us speak for around an hour about nothing too exciting if you don't know who we are, but we enjoyed it. Have you recovered from the chat with Captain Doug?
Yeah, it's about. It was a long one, wasn't it? It dragged out, but it was a good start, I think. Got some good points about the club straight away. So.
Yeah, definitely. Today's or last night's is when we filmed it with Josh Peck. That's been energetic, so that's a different one. We'll have to put a public service announcement out about that one, I think. Just maybe we'll do a lot of editing on it. So Phil, since we last chatted, there's been a little bit of an update on potentially when the first team can get back playing. Is that right?
Yeah, loosely. Obviously, nothing's done well first time, but they are a few. So basically, they've published the fixtures. So the fixtures have been set out, and we've been put into a league of. So our league's been broken into two. So we're in a league of 7, and those fixtures are now established for that first window, starting for ourselves on the 5th of September. But likelihood is we won't be playing by the 5th of September. But any fixtures that are missed get put to the back of that first window. So we've got 12 games, scheduled in, home and away against these other 6 teams. They will be played. That's priority for the league system this year, if you like. So all 12 of those games will get played. So we don't know when we're starting exactly, but we know who we've got. Essentially, we know when we've got them, but we don't know when we're going to start. That makes sense.
Yeah. So it's a nice little kind of glimpse of normality coming back, I guess. So it's definitely
Yeah, I think it gives people something to focus on, and it also means we can work as if we are going to start on the 5th of September.
Yeah, which is
probably bad news for you, Tom.
I was going to say horrific news for me, but great news for those who enjoy fitness. So I mean, we have had we're halfway through the second week of training. We're training again tonight. It was just you. There's been some good feedback about training, though. People seem to be enjoying it.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's just nice to be back for a lot of people, isn't it? We've had a long time sat at home doing nothing. So to just have the opportunity to come back and have a ball in your hands and do a bit of running with your mates is better than sat on the sofa, for most people. I think, we'll start ramping up when we can. Sadly, we're still in this category B where we've got to be in groups of 6 at the moment. So we're just doing real small snippets of the game plan, just try and get them absolutely ironed in. So when we can join together as a big group, we can fire straight in and start doing some team run stuff. Tonight will be slightly different. Jim Reeson is taking over the fitness side of things for the evening, just because he's just because he's nursing a bit of an issue with his pubis, or as he called it, his pubic last week, which was quite funny. Yeah, he's got pubic lice apparently. It'll be good tonight. We're going to try and real focus in on some key skills, and then Jim will run the rest of you into the ground.
That's cool. If you need someone to assist with key skills, then I'm here for you. Or if you need someone to collect the cones, I can do that as well. Also, just something that came out from the club. There is the few social events that we've got coming up. We did mention last week that we were planning some more in. So just something to look out for this. At the end of this month, on the 26th, there's a family fun run with an obstacle course. So that'd be another level of fitness that I'll enjoy a little bit more than maybe Jim Reeson ragging me around. So that's going to be fantastic.
I can just see a group of 4-year-olds just lapping you.
I think they do, yeah. And I think the rugby shorts that are training probably aren't the rugby shorts to be used on an obstacle course where there's
let's start a fire, mate.
They will start a fire. I will have to invest in some new shorts if I'd like to participate in that. But that'd be good fun. If you don't want to take part, it might just be worth coming up and laughing at me get stuck on an obstacle course. And then after that, on the 16th of August, we've got some rounders and softball matches coming up. Now that would be that is going to be a good fun to get the competitiveness out a little bit more. So he's got good hand-eye coordination. Again, probably not me, but there's some good cricketers and good golfers out there. So I imagine there's some good rounders players as well. Love to swing a around. And then we've got a bit later in August some quiz and a curry. And then on the 30th of August, something that I saw 3 words that kind of make me feel a bit uncomfortable, and that's mass exercise challenge. But when we know a little bit more about that, we'll come over that over when we know more details. But yeah, before we get into speaking to Josh, is there anything you would like to highlight from the week we've just had?
It's been a bit of a strange week. Obviously, if you're a Leicester Tigers fan,
yeah,
you've lost a few players, and you've lost probably your talisman, or when he plays, he's your talisman, in Tuilagi going to Sale. That was quite a change for the rugby scape. You know, Leicester Tigers actually look now that they're going to have to redevelop themselves a whole raft of players.
yeah,
sharpish.
Did you see the picture of him signing at Sale?
Yeah.
He couldn't look more proud of himself, could he?
I know. He's just like, got myself a job for 3 years here.
Yeah, sorted. I mean, I'm not sure how Leicester Tigers are going to do. I think they probably will struggle next season. Or for the remainder. I don't know when Manu goes over. Has he gone over already?
Well, I'm not sure on the rules. So in football, obviously, normally the transfer window opens on like the 1st of June or 1st of July.
Yeah.
And all these players would have been transferred by now. But I think in the Premier League, you have to keep the same squad as you had, you know, when we locked down.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
and I'm not sure what rugby are doing about that. Because rugby contracts run from June to May.
It's a weird one because I know, being a Bristol Bears fan, I know we've got semi-wide runners training with us, and I think Carl Sinclair is, but I'm not sure if they're allowed to play or if they've just because that's when their contract for employment started. But it's going to be an interesting season because Sale are looking like they're going to be a decent outfit.
Well, Bristol and Sale have kind of totally reformatted the clubs, haven't they, in terms of players? And Bristol have obviously got that ridiculous training facility as well.
Oh, I would do.
Which looks insane. Yeah, even you would enjoy fitness.
I would enjoy fitness there.
So yeah, that would be really interesting. I think the Premiership needed a shake-up. I think you know, people need to sort of exeter obviously doing the right thing. Saracens were doing the wrong thing, but rugby-wise they were doing it right. So I think some of these clubs needed a bit of a shake-up. I think you'll find Tigers might go back to sort of that mid-90s style where they develop all their own talent and bring it through. But yeah, it's going to be interesting.
It'll take a few years for them to do that, won't it? It won't be an overnight thing. But I think for a few years, clubs would just try to match Sarries and Exeter and people like that, where they would just, that's the blueprint that you have to be like that to win. And actually, clubs figured out. I mean, Pat Lam just lets them do what they want. Sale is obviously quite a close-knit group of lads anyway. So yeah, there's lots of different techniques they're now using, isn't it? I think it's coaches to get the best out of their players, and obviously the player welfare is banded around all the time, and I think that's probably improving for some. So it probably makes them a bit easier to play if they get looked after as well.
I think also the style of rugby's changed from sort of the boring Northern Hemisphere kicking game, which we all got a bit bored of, and now the Southern Hemisphere sort of flair and finesse has become a bigger part of the game up here, which is better to watch, obviously. It's a better product.
Yeah, I mean, if you weren't a rugby fan, being taken to watch a Premiership rugby game wasn't the most exciting thing.
It was painful.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, but now I think it's definitely more of a spectacle for people to watch. Right, get into showing people what we talked about with Josh Peck, because it's quite an interesting one. So please send all complaints to Phil, and we hope you enjoy it.
Yes, boys. I think I thought I was going to go for the same thing, but I thought I'd dress up a little bit more, a little bit smarter.
And he's,
the Van Blanc too.
Just a little tibble. The thing is, though, before this was going off, my fire alarm, just before you joined, Phil, after being in the pub for however long for, the fire alarm started going off, so I couldn't log in. It was just siren after siren. I'm thinking, I can't come in with a noise like this.
But we thought we'd make you feel a little bit more at home.
Well, if you'd like to know, I've also added a little bit of a Asian effect to it as well. If you want to see my my full outfit.
I mean, we're recording, so yes,
stand up. It's
This is my lungy. It's got a little bit of rip in it, so it's a bit of a sexy leg too. But
hello, I'm glad you got boxes on. So we are recording, so we might as well just go into it. I've kind of given you a little bit of prep, Josh, but we didn't really have much to intro you with, apart from you're quite liked by the players, which is.
I'm very surprised by that.
I mean, I like you, but then I think that's just because it's quite easy to say you. You're known for your ability to grow a lot of hair and bartend. That's pretty much. And you've been in Asia a bit, but. And we've.
That's only Yuri, but he's away.
And I think I've been so injured for so long that I don't think the stats even exist anymore on me.
They wouldn't be quite as nice as Dougie's numbers, I don't think.
No, exactly. And I think it definitely wouldn't be 27 tries in a season. It would be more like half a try, or like a combined. It'd be like a combined try of everyone together.
The maul. You scored up a maul.
Yeah, all the forwards get to feel good together when the number 8 scores. But it was a pushover scrum. It's our try.
It's all of our tries. It's all of our tries. And yeah. Due to GDPR, we're only allowed to keep stats like that for 6 years. So we've had to turf them off. But Josh, just a little bit of background. Why Paviers?
Well, funny enough, I actually joined Mellish first as a bit of a bad burner, but it was because it was through a family friend. They pointed to a direction of rugby, and my dad's always been a football fan, so it took him long enough to even get me on the rugby pitch, let alone even know what the rugby was. So we went to Mellish first, and it wasn't that nice of a club, and they were a bit sexist. No, they didn't seem to be quite sexist to my mum, and they didn't let me join in and play. And then my dad heard about Paviers, took me up there, and then instantly fell in love. And that's when I met all my friends. And it was just a great setup, loads more players, and they actually played me instead of Mellish only playing the boys that were actually coaches.
Your age group was quite good, wasn't it, Josh?
Yeah, it was amazing. So I was with Sam Ward, Richard, Hatton. So I was with Hatton as well. I was with I was just below Bob. I was just below Doug and George and Bob and that lot as well.
You had John T.
Yeah, John T. I was with John. No, John T was a year. John T was 2 years above me.
Oh right, okay.
Yeah, so he's older than me. But yeah, so I had a really good team as well. We played. I don't know why my brain's suddenly got frozen. Joe, as soon as you ask a question, it seems to like.
It's all right. Last week.
Instantly can't think of anything.
To be fair, Josh, I think it might be genetic.
Yeah.
Yeah. The difference is you speak before you open.
I remember when you were probably. I remember when you were about probably under 16, Josh. I came up and watched you guys on a Sunday morning. Bloody good game.
I remember we used to have Sam Mosley as well, who was one of our top players.
That's right, Sam's good player.
Very, very good players. It's a shame he's moved down to London and became a bit of a posh boy. Doesn't want to join in anymore. And we had Simeon as well. He was absolute class. He was a beast. So he used to just literally just every time he got the ball, he used to run through everyone. It was like this. Basically, it's like when you see like a Samoan lad at under 10s, he looked about 6'5", just running through every person. It's like not had a growth spurt yet. But yeah, and we had the Crespos as well, which were excellent. So we used to have Joe and James Crespo, the twins. I don't know if you might have met them or not. They used to be on those absolute machines. Just love to scrap and just love to go in, get in the thick of it. and there was me
Nice.
plodding along the back trying to join in.
You-
I was about Tom's size then.
Honestly, this is my housemate. I do apologise. This bit might have to be 18 plus, considering how much this vest rides up. It's my housemate, and it is a bit.
Oh,
So
you got an arse underneath that.
and rear of the year, that mate. That is rear. But Peck, you mentioned your dad. Am I right in thinking you playing effectively got your dad into playing as well?
Yeah, so pretty much exactly that. So I started playing, and he used to be the aggressive dad on the sideline. So he basically did the football mentality. So he'd be on the sideline going, "Fucking go forward, go play, do this," not having a clue how the game worked, just screaming every direction under the sun until eventually
Nothing's changed.
nothing's changed until basically Dave Ward went up to him and just basically said, "Steve, you haven't got a clue what you're talking about. Shut up. If you want to come help, come coach or come play. You'll learn how to do it." So I think he got in the first. I think it was like coaches versus dads game. And basically, I think he went into one of the rucks. And I think it might have been Dwayne or someone that just literally just punched him straight in the face. He came up with his nose all bloody, and it was like, "I fucking love this game. This is the best game ever." And then ever since, I think that's when he was 40, and he's now 57, and he's still going strong. I think he's played longer than I have, and I think I started at under 9s or under 8s, and he's actually been playing longer than me now, without any injuries.
Well, you've got to move quite fast around the pitch to pick up an injury. Is the real.
I think that's what it is.
I've never had an injury either. So you obviously you said your dad was the aggressive bloke on the sideline, but I was given some knowledge of a certain fight at Tupton which erupted, and there's a bit of mistaken identity. Do you want to walk us through that feeling for you?
Yeah, so basically, I've realised that my dad wanted a different son, I think, at the end of it. So basically, we're both playing, and I think a fight broke out, and someone was on the floor. It's quite a big boy on the floor, and it was quite recognisable who it was. And all you hear from the sideline and running over. I've never seen him run so fast. Goes, "That's my son! That's my son! That's my son!" And he runs over, starts fucking swinging his fist around, going absolutely hell to leather. And I'm just next to Woody, and I walk over to my dad and thinking, "Dad, I'm standing here. That's Joe Crossland." So I could see at that situation there, he's obviously he was longing for a bigger, better son, and I think he chose the right one with Joe.
Out of all the lads playing, is Joe the one he wanted the most out of everyone, or was it just?
I think he always lies and tells strangers that I'm about 6'5", 27 stone and whatnot. So I think he was just keep living that dream through Joe. So all the lies he tells all these strangers in pubs and whatnot until I actually walk in the door, and he's just like, "Oh yeah, this is my other son, not the one I'm talking about."
He's not the good one.
It's not the good one. So I usually come prancing in or skipping in or like doing a little twirl or something, ordering a Sauvignon and next to all his mates, and he's usually not best pleased.
These are the lads, and yeah, that's the son
that's him. That's him over there.
the one drinking MyanmOur at the end of the bar. That's
having a great time.
So, just quickly on the last bit for the little synopsis about yourself. So you've been abroad, clearly, which is why me and Phil are dressed as Gupyard students.
Yeah.
So where have you been? What have you been doing? Who did you meet?
So I spent many summers abroad, and it's been absolutely fantastic. It's really hard to explain because you kind of have to be there. Little bracelet here. I got the little ankle one here as well.
Oh, the shanklet, nice.
Little shanklet. I've had that for a few years. So what I'm wearing, actually, my tie represents the first place I went to, which was Myanmar. So it's got little Myanmar, the continent on there. So I lived in Myanmar for about 2 years, teaching and working out there, and played a bit of rugby, which was really amazing. And then the last 6-7 months I spent in Vietnam, doing pretty much the same thing, just drinking, playing rugby, which is pretty amazing.
Which was your favourite?
To be honest, Myanmar was my favourite because I think I spent longer there, and also I spent more time with like the local people, and actually starting that charity with joining the little charity, the Little Dragons, and actually just getting to train like local kids and being part of the community and the way they made it feel there. It was very raw and real, as you can always say when you've been traveling and finding yourself and whatnot. But actually, from what you see on TV of Asia and actually what you get from being there and going to certain places, like being in Vietnam, like in Ho Chi Minh, it's very much like being in London, but just with an Asian twist. Like being there when you still got like massive potholes in the road, people are going around in little shanty huts and little bicycles, and you've got feral dogs everywhere chasing you down the street for your bit of scrap food you have. And the fact that I had a pack of 12 street dogs outside my apartment that I looked after, and like got trees and bushes growing out of buildings, and just that crazy wild thing you can kind of see. It was unbelievable. I loved it so much there. And the people I met were just unbelievable. Like I felt very lucky to like get somewhere and just actually feel so close to people instantly.
Do they have an international team?
They have. So in Myanmar, there was 4 teams actually. So there was the MyanmOur Dragons, which was the expat team, which is with a few mixed Myanmar people. And they had the Japanese Elephants, which was the Japanese expats. And then you had the Insane Stray Dogs, which was the touch team that I helped coach and run with another person called Stephanie, which was really, really great. And then we had the Little Dragons, which was the actual Myanmar local team that we trained and taught how to play touch rugby. And then a few of them went into contact, but not many, because when you're about 5'4" and about 3 stone, it's difficult to get up with the big expat lads and run around. But that was the aim. That was the aim eventually of it, but which is really good, because at the moment now that's actually been taken over by a Cambodian team, which is really great. So we left, it was Kombucha Lombok, which is a rugby charity that basically, before me and Brad left, who was helping me run it, basically got involved, and they basically took it on, because there's quite a few different rugby charities like this. Pass It Back, which is massive in Vietnam, which is absolutely amazing, and it goes all over. It's all over the global Southeast Asia, where they basically just get local people into rugby. So it's massive in the Philippines and massive in Cambodia and Laos. But yeah, so we don't have anything in Myanmar because there's no RFU, because they won't allow it, because obviously with the military government and stuff. But Kombucha Lombok jumped in, got involved, put a load of sponsorship in, so they kind of left it, and now it's got a load of Myanmar people running it, and it's doing really well. So all the kids are absolutely bossing it. So there's more and more teams joining now, where before there wasn't. So as of 3 or 4 years ago, there was no rugby there at all until the MyanmOur Dragons actually brought in the rugby to them, and then me and Brad carried it on.
Okay. I mean, if anyone from Myanmar is listening and you do want an international team, my dad's dad, when it was Burma, was Burmese, so I probably qualify. So if you're /inside centre/fly half, just message us and I'll give you my number and some details.
So you're gonna have to bribe the government there to get the RFU out there. But yeah, when it happens, mate, you'll be on it.
We'll see. Phil, it's time for your package. Have we got a Phil's package today?
Yes. Right, into the quick fire questions then, Josh. Very similar to Doug's, but obviously not quite the same. I won't ask you who the best Billam is, because you're obviously going to say Harriet. Yeah. Although ironically, she's no longer a Billam, so absolutely stupid, really, from Doug.
Misogyny is key, really, isn't it?
I imagine Harriet will be available before George, though, for a podcast.
Oh, definitely, 100%.
I think I'd rather listen to that anyway.
Yeah, I would.
100%. Yeah.
Right, ready? Red or green?
Green.
Best beer?
Guinness.
What rugby position would you prefer? 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5?
1.
Lager, ale, or Guinness? You just answered that, really.
Ale.
Cock or balls?
Oh, it's got to be cock all the way. Everyone loves a girthy one.
Boobs or butt?
Butt all the way.
Asia or Europe?
Asia.
15s or 7s?
I do like 7s, but I'm gonna go 15s.
Favorite opposition?
Ooh. What? Who I played against, or just?
Well, yeah. Who you prefer playing against? Who you are playing against?
Because otherwise, it's not really an opposition.
I think I like Joe. I'm going to say again. I love playing against my dad, because he always gives me the best shit, and he always tries to think he's the best scrimmager, and he just never is.
And then finally, Jonty or Jim?
I'm going to say Jonty because I love him to bits.
Oh,
actually, edit that, Jim.
Right, that's 2-0 to Jim.
A rare answer.
2-0 to Jim. Jeez.
No, it will be Jonty. I'll keep it as Jonty.
Fair enough.
So why
Fair enough.
Jonty though?
Why Jonty? Because I think
He is
because
insufferable.
He's made me his best man, so I think I have to just, out of dignity and for his self-respect, someone's got to literally just give him something, and he's got to live. He gets the shit every day. I got to give him a little something just to feel happy. Just get him out of bed in the morning. He struggles enough as it is with the amount of shit you lot give him. Just make him feel wanted. Be part of the club.
I don't know what you're talking about.
And also, Mum always taught me not to lie. So why would I make him feel wanted?
That's true, mate.
Oh, bless. I mean, we do actually have some questions from the public.
I'm excited and nervous.
The first one is actually from a Mr. W. Easel. He says, what is the best way to mattress surf down a spiral staircase?
Obviously, have a mattress that's not as big as the staircase is often a good bet, because I've made that mistake before, where it gets stuck and then you end up going over it. So just make sure you have a mattress that's not the same width as the staircase itself.
So obviously, the story. What's the story?
The story is of actually Jonty's future wife and her roommate Kerry. It was all going out on New Year's. Just going to the good old Filthies when it was about. We went there for New Year's and got absolutely, completely, utterly blottoed. And I think we ended up going back. And then we all just had this idea and went, Jonty's not here. Let's just take his mattress off his bed and then go down the stairs. Because we used to have a spiral staircase going all the way down to the bottom floor. So basically we just ransacked Jonty's room, ripped his mattress off the bed, as you do. As I think it's the only right thing to do for him. And then we just tried to sofa surf down there, but realised the mattress was the same width as the hallway, and just ended up getting stuck and left it there.
How long?
I think it was just for that night, and then we picked it up later on. Yeah, it wasn't.
So where was Jonty? If you were with Jonty's fiancée, as she is now,
I think,
and for her sake she stays that way.
Yeah.
Where was Jonty?
I can't actually remember now. I think he might have been with family, or he might have been skiing. As New Year's. I think he was somewhere away with his family or whatnot, and it was just me left there with Kerry and Spooner, which was excellent. I had the best time.
I hope he wasn't upset, because there could have been a lot worse things happen on that mattress with his missus. I hope he wasn't too upset about the
I think the thing is he shouldn't be that upset about what we did to that mattress. Is everyone that slept in that mattress has also wet the bed. So I think the amount of people that's actually stayed at my house, slept in his bed, wet the bed every time.
Shout out to Babby Radcliffe.
Radcliffe. I think it was also Doug. No, Doug wet my bed. With me in it. I think I remember waking up and him just pissing on my clothes, and then I had to drag him out because he was pissing by the window. But but everyone else that stayed there has always pissed the bed on Jonty's.
Ollie Collingham's not been here, has he? He's pretty bad for that.
He has, but I think he stayed on the sofa bed. I don't think he pissed the bed then.
No, they drain a bit better, don't they?
I've had it where I don't remember getting to bed, and I wake up the next morning, step off the end of the bed on a wooden floor with a bundle of sopping wet clothes, and being drunk, thought, I must have spilled a drink on them, pick them up, to put them in my face to smell them, and I had piss up my nostrils for about a week. It's quite hard to shower piss out of nostrils, especially when it's as potent as me. Phil, you must have some stories, mate, to be fair. Playing with the lads you've played with over the years, there must be a few stories. You don't have to say names, but there's got to be.
Yeah, there's a few. There's, the one I did personally, and I'll not put a time period on it, but went out with a few blokes, so one of my teams and another team went out together, to try and break the divide. Went into Nottingham for the night, and probably should have gone home with one of my mates at about 1, but stayed out till about 4, and got home, and apparently Ruth says that I sat up about 5 a.m, literally Dracula out of the box, sat up and then just projectile vomited on like a pivot around the room, and then just fell back asleep. I was straight like that. To the point where it left Ruth to clean it all up at 5 a.m. in the morning, and then her and my teammate who had slept over in our spare room to wake me up at 8 o'clock to get me back to my team for our debriefing on the previous day's game. That was in a bad way. And there began the demise of Phil Egleshaw's career.
That was the turning point.
And now he's playing it, baby.
Day.
Jeez. Oh, I mean, I do apologise to people listening. Last week was kind of solely about rugby. So we'll come slightly away from number one's...
Urination.
Number one, yeah.
Urination. But, I mean, quite a nice link. Most of this stuff kind of tends to happen on tour. What are both of yours favourite tour moments in your last few years? Well, from the last few tours you've been on.
Go on, Josh. I haven't done many.
So my last, I can just do my most recent one was when I was traveling in Asia. If you don't mind me. Dipping into that one.
I didn't know you'd been to Asia.
If you guys didn't know I've been to Asia, like when I was like skipping through like Lebanon, drinking the wine and whatnot. So my last tour, I've had two last tours. So my the last one was in Bangkok. It was just a touch rugby tour. So it was just, so I left, basically it was during lockdown and you weren't actually allowed to leave the country. So I was a bit sneaky and left regardless. So we went out there and it was literally just 3 days of no food, loads of touch rugby, didn't play any actual contact, but loads of like really good contact games there. So you had all the Southern East Island teams out there, loads of like Cambodia, Laos, some really, really big, hard-hitting games. So it was good to watch, and it was just pretty much just 3 days of just non-stop on the booze, absolutely getting legless. And I can't remember most of the nights out, but it was just think of every expat community with all the big drinkers here, all the Saffers, all the New Zealand lads, all the Fijians, all in this one little bar called, it was literally called the Aussie Bar. And it was about 50 strong teams in there, just absolutely rammed in, just drinking the place dry. And that was my last tour. And the tour after that was in Vietnam with my Saigon Geckos boys. And we travelled to Da Nang to play the local Hoi An team. And we had a 15-a-side team in this little local, it was just like a little local stand. It was basically just the park with 2 rugby pitches in it. And we played in there, had a great game. And afterwards we went to a place called Tiger, of all places. And we literally, halfway through the night, we're all just shirts off, as you do, jumping around, just having a whale of a time till about 4 o'clock in the morning. Because one of the lads of the DJ, we ended up taking over one of these bars, and he was just literally kick this poor little Vietnamese lad out the DJ booth. He's in there, just literally wrecking up till about 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. That was pretty good. So those are my last 2 recent ones, yeah.
I mean, it's quite a manly thing to do anyway, but what is it with rugby lads? As soon as you've had a few beers, we're not in our normal setting, the tits are out straight away. We've been doing quizzes on a Thursday. We do fastest finger afterwards. If a banger comes on, just tops off straight away. I think it's one of the nicest things.
Tops off.
It's brotherhood. Phil.
Yeah.
Have you got any?
I mean, I just want to clarify fastest finger first, Tom. So it's who gets the answer in first. There's nothing sexual about that. And banger, he means a good song. That was all a bit too innuendo for me.
Innuendo.
I haven't been on that many tours because I didn't start playing rugby until I was about 15. So I think we spoke about the Lille tour me and George went on last week, which was not dissimilar to Doug Billerman Biarritz. But I went away on quite a few pre-season tours, one of which with Nottingham, I think became a bit of a farcical event in terms of actually training. But I know we were signing quite a few players at the time, so the head coach had to keep disappearing off to different parts of the country and talking to blokes and that. So I remember we got down to Plymouth and stayed on one of the naval bases down there. No, it was Portsmouth. Sorry, Portsmouth. Got down, stayed on a naval base down there, and it was a Monday, and we got down there at about 4:30. So we went out for an hour and did literally like a bit of touch rugby, which we never did. Bit of touch rugby, and then he turned around to the skipper, who was Craig Hammond at the time, and said, "Right, I've got to go to London tomorrow morning, so you boys can go out and enjoy yourselves." So we've literally been in Portsmouth for like an hour, and we've basically been told we've got free rein and no training on Tuesday. And this was a Monday night, so we're like, right, well,
Tasty.
off we go.
Tasty.
So disappear off on that night out. Anyway, all sorts of silliness goes on that night. We get to like Wednesday and we have a tough day's training. Thursday, we have a relatively tough day's training. We're going home Friday lunchtime. So Thursday night, we booked out Tiger in Portsmouth. So we have a meal in Tiger.
Meal?
We get, yeah.
I can't imagine any sort of meal that's going to happen in Tiger.
Especially for like 40 lads.
No. Here's a bowl of chips.
It's like a banquet.
Yeah, start paying like obviously all the drinking.
It's literally a bowl of chips, yeah.
Bowl of chips.
I don't remember eating. Stayed in Tiger until like silly o'clock. And I got back to the digs maybe 3-4 o'clock. Had like 4 hours sleep, and at 8 o'clock in the morning, got a knock on the door from one of the senior players saying, "Right, turns out the bus has been booked for 9 o'clock, not midday. So we need to be on the bus at 9 a.m. So I'm like, climb out of bed, not in too bad a condition. I mean, I was eventually sick in the service station halfway home, but I was not too bad getting on with it. The real issue were that there were some players who have gone on and played a lot higher level, weren't back because they were like of the opinion that the bus isn't leaving till 12, and they had an hour to get back to a rather isolated parts of Portsmouth from wherever they had ended up that night. So there was a mass sort of like essentially military operation to get these 3 lads back into somewhere near the bus to the point where actually we ended up picking them up from one of the I think it was an Asda in Portsmouth rather than anything else, because they ended up striking lucky, I guess, on the night out and being about 5-10 miles away from the actual complex we were staying at. It was quite an entertaining morning. But yeah, I remember getting back to sort of Birmingham way, coming off at services and being like, well, I'm going to be sick now. So, and just was sick outside of WH Smith's in the services, which was pretty horrendous.
I moment for your life there.
Yeah, I'm running off like nothing happened.
And that was not weirdly the demise of your career, Phil. We know that, which is
yeah.
Well, that was many years later. This was
Many
early on. I was only
years
about 18.
that's all normal.
Josh, another question we got was, are you growing your hair as Daddy Peck started losing his at 28?
I think me and him have got a personal bet on, because he still believes he can grow his hair as long as mine. He keeps telling me every Christmas that if he grows it for a year, he'll be the same length as me, and I still don't believe him. So, yes.
It's looking quite long at the moment, to be fair.
Do you know what? I am a little bit nervous. I think once I betted him like 100 quid he couldn't do it, and I'm glad I didn't take that bet, because I think he might actually prove me wrong.
I mean, I think he's got to be careful. Being the Silver Fox he is now, he might be compared to one of Savile's crew. But I think he might have it in him.
More the Rolf Harris sort of way. Like his beard keeps going the way. I think like leave the top bit all like short and stubbly, and then get that big old beard coming out.
Oh my gosh! Did you see Did you see Cabell Baskin wishing Rolf Harris?
Baskin, yeah.
Oh. How funny was that?
Someone's done her over. Absolutely done her over.
If you need any more evidence that the USA is full of retards, absolute home run, that one.
It was
magic.
Incredible. Oh, it was so funny. So funny. So you're in competition with your dad? I know I'm in a competition with him, but I think he's constantly in a competition with me
no matter what I'm doing, I think he's still got that youth in him where he's like a more of a, he'll probably know this better, Phil, like that brotherly competition where anything you do, the other person's got to do better. So now that I've got a beard, he's going for the full whack. He's left it for a few years and now he's trying it on. Now he's getting the hair going as well.
I mean, me and Nathan are relatively competitive, yes.
Yeah. So I think it's that sort of mentality. I think it's less of competition and more as anything that I'm doing, he's got to do it. And anything he does, I've got to do better.
Josh, what's he going to do when he finds out that while you're in Asia, you got your cock pierced? Will he match that as well?
I think he's already had his belly button pierced years ago, so I think it's
he hasn't got a belly button. It's not there.
Belly button.
I think it was his hernia scar. That's what it was.
I was going to say the only place I know that would be able to do that would be Twycross Zoo for him.
Even that was a competition. When I got my big hernia scar, he had to go get one in his belly button as well. It's just constant. He's never leaving me alone.
Just wants to be
competitive dad syndrome.
It's legit, it's competitive dad syndrome. Right? He's got the smallest little scar on his belly. And he tries to compare it with mine. I love it.
Yours was quite big, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's still pretty big, but it looks great. That emu really got me. That emu at White Post Farm really got me bad.
Hang on, there's a story there. I don't know this one.
No, it's when I got septicemia and they had to like cut my belly open.
Oh right.
Yeah. Yeah, it wasn't actually
That's not as funny.
It's not as funny. I nearly died, Phil. I might not have made it for this podcast. Who knows? What the thing to live for?
We would have had a story there, wouldn't we?
Yeah. Remember that Pecky's lad? Do you know that guy who used to come pub us anymore, but now he's in a deep depression because his son died?
Thought he was going to fuck off to Asia.
Yeah, I thought he was going to fuck off to Asia, have this lovely life, but no, he just died in a hospital bed. Fuck him. I don't remember who he was.
Yeah, I mean,
Pecky's was a shell of a man in Witherspoon still sipping on his Guinness.
Change there.
I had a son once. He was 6'7", 27 stone. His name was Joe Crossland.
Yeah, even dead you would again probably still.
Even dead, I wouldn't have made it through the stories. No,
you still would have got on before.
Some version of me, my name would have been involved, but everything else would have been changed around me.
Yeah,
personality, attitude.
Definitely. Another question we got, and off the top of my head, I think it might have been Mr. Collier that sent it in, but you might know a bit more about this. It might just be a question. Who's your favourite catchphrase winner and why?
I can't say much on this one because it's a family-friendly podcast, but I'll just say the person in question really loved Marmite on toast in the morning. I'll just say that.
Oh, so you met said winner.
I met. But this was pre-winning the catchphrase. I met said person on a night out, and many things happened in that wonderful encounter, an experience of there, and a great story to behold when it's not live on the internet to tell everyone. But the people that do know will know, and the people that don't know, I'm sure they will soon find out.
There's a lot of questions I have for both of you when we're not recording.
Yeah.
he was not back at the bus and he was the catchphrase winner. Did you treat her well?
Who says it's a her?
Yeah, it was said person was treated exactly the way they wanted to be treated, with much like very vast vocabulary, I would say, and lots of talking during and after and present. With things I don't ever wish to repeat.
Did you take her number?
I didn't take said person's number, no, and I wasn't expecting to see that said person again until a catchphrase came on and they won 50k, and now it could have been treated to a lovely holiday, but it could have changed ever since. So I've got Marmite, I've got toast. If you ever fancy.
So there's no way that we can FaceTime them right now.
No, not at all.
No FaceTiming. What a shame. I think
that would be a horrific experience for that person in question.
just me.
No, I think for me it'd be for you okay, but then for you, I think it'd be horrific to see anyone answering the FaceTime for you, Tom, would be horrific.
What are you saying?
I know the feeling.
Listen, mate.
I normally charge £2.50 a minute for my FaceTime. Normally I'm in a vest.
With a headband on.
Yeah.
Repping the Crips.
Yeah, just round. Last thing I want from you, before we wrap up talking to you, is if you were going to try and sell yourself as an all-round rugby player, so on and off the pitch, how would you do it?
I'd probably do it through interpretive dance. If I was
Can
gonna,
we
if
see-
I was going to be brutally honest, it would be 100% interpretive dance and showing off my flamboyant side as possible. And I think that's worked well for me so far.
So, I mean, can we potentially see a little bit?
Yeah, I can get some mood music on and give you a little bit of a.
Well, don't worry about the music. I can cut the music over.
Okay, you can pick the music, and I'm more than happy to do a little dance for you.
That would be
if this needs to happen.
It needs to happen.
I don't know how good the dance is going to be, and now I've have to.
Doesn't matter.
Just feel it, mate. Just feel it. Feel it.
Just feel it.
It's always there. I'm just going to unplug my headphones and.
Yeah, good idea.
This is cracking.
It's just got weird.
Let me just give my party for 2 seconds.
Okay, I'm not seeing anything, but already I'm not sure if I'm excited, concerned, or slightly aroused.
I think I'm concerned.
I think I'm concerned. I think
You've delved in too deep too quickly. I don't think you've realised what you've asked for.
Oh dear. Here we go.
Can someone drop me a beat or?
Just on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Oh,
Oh, lovely.
crikey Moses.
Oh.
Oh, hello.
Oh, hello, sniffies.
Go down for the splits.
Oh,
Oh, no,
it's fallen
that
off.
skirt's not lasting,
It's
is it?
come undone.
Crikey. Oh my
my
God, you can
word.
actually do the splits.
How can you do? You've got mate. You've had a hernia operation.
That's why.
That's probably as much as I can give you really before going into anything.
I think I quite enjoyed that.
Yeah.
Thank you very
Yeah,
much.
fuck.
I need to do the
Thank
splits.
you.
I've got a bit of pretty tight, one tight hamstring now.
You
I
want to do
can't
the
train.
other side, don't you?
Yeah,
I can't train tomorrow, Phil.
No, pull myself up.
Thanks for
I
that,
don't know how
Josh.
much of that really you can use, to be honest. It wasn't the greatest dance I've ever
I
performed.
mean, it's going to be unique in the podcast, I think, that, to be fair.
Well, they
I
do call
think
me the working man's Beyonce, to be honest. So
That question may have to stay in now. Just to see.
Or I reckon you could just start the podcast with that, and then just have no context whatsoever.
I'm gonna firstly cut
Just
that.
started with
and-
me doing the split. Just started with me doing the splits, and then go into all the other questions, and just leave it at that. Don't even add any questions.
Nothing.
No context. Nothing. Just me doing
It's
the
just
splits.
the first kind of 5 seconds of it is you being very similar to the Grinch. It's just the movement of the hips and the. I mean, I'm definitely going to watch that on my own. But thanks for that, Josh. I don't know if I can't think of any more questions after that.
Oh, I've got
Eggy.
loads, but I don't want to ask it.
Yeah, I think. Well, just thanks, mate.
Guys, I feel like I didn't think I did the same thing as Dougie did. I think I had a lot of great stories told badly, but yeah, it's good to be on here, guys.
Yeah, and I assume that when we before we put this up, you can send me the links so people can find out more about Little Dragons and the other charities you mentioned, and people can do what they can to support them.
Yeah, that'd be really great. Yeah, I'll send you all that stuff over, especially my TED talk. If you didn't know already, I did a TED talk.
Oh, we did a TED talk. I mean,
Oh, Christ.
When I was traveling, and guys, if you just don't experience yourself while you're experiencing yourself, what's the point of living?
oh, thank you, Josh.
What about? Oh, can we have a link to the program you did about your dog?
I think I've still got a very. I don't think it's even theirs anymore. But I think I've got a small snippet. I can send that to you as well if you want.
All right, we've got to get that one as well.
We might have to. We might have to.
I feel like you avoided a lot of questions to really air around all the little shit things I've done in my life.
We might have to get you back in a few months' time then to to hear more of your stories, if that's all right. If you're still in the
I'm more than happy to do that. Yeah, this is a good idea, guys. I think it's going to go well. I think it's going to do really well.
Cool. Thanks, mate. And yeah, we'll speak to you soon, bud.
All right, awesome.
Bye, bye.
Do I leave now, or what happens?
Well, told you it was interesting. No questions to be asked, I think. Better not said. Agreed?
Yeah, that was eye-opening. That dance was just interpretive, I think, is probably the artistic word, but weird would be the more descriptive word.
I'm not sure how I interpreted it, if I'm honest. Not well. No, but
that was the point where I decided to stop drinking.
Yeah, I thought I did the percentage of the beer because I was like, this can't be happening. It was when his his little skirt thing fell off. But no, what a crack! He's funny and he makes me laugh. And to be fair, he's just one of the nicest lads as well, isn't he?
Yeah, he is good lad. Good lad.
So, like we said, we'll put the links to some of them charities so you can find out a little bit more about them. And support them if you wish. The rugby charities that Josh talked about. But next week, Phil, who's coming on?
We're going to get the enigma that is Alex Barton on. I mean, you thought that interview was weird.
I was going to say.
We don't know where we're going with this one. We'll cover some key points like the 1975 concert. We'll cover his relationship with a once great Australian legend, and we'll probably cover how the hell he won Player of the Season last season for the entire league. I mean, we didn't give him the award.
No.
So yeah, it'll be an interesting interview next week.
It will be. So I'll let you come up with the script for that one, I think, of the questions, if that's all right. Obviously, we'll have another Phil's package. If anyone else has got any questions for Barton, let us know. And if we think they're funny, we'll ask them. We've had some good ones in at the minute. But, yeah, get them in. Just remember, we'll put, I've shared already on the Facebook page, but we'll share later to the Times, the social events as well that are coming up. And just remember to share this around your peers, and we'll speak to you next week.
Very nice. You're not going to put me on the spot this week with a final thought.
Have you prepped one? What's your final thought?
No, I haven't prepped one.
All right. Well, no then.